Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Chris, and we're talking here today about finding peace within yourself. And I think there's probably very little topics that are more important than this, and very few things on earth that are more confusing. To be able to say at the moment you put your head on the pillow, I'm thankful for the day that just was, I'm thankful for the day that's coming, and I love who I am as I am. Nothing to change, nothing to be guilty about, nothing to achieve to make me a better, more lovable human being. I'm worthy of love for who I am, no matter what I've done or not done. I'm worthy of love for who I am. Finding peace within yourself is a multicolored, multifaceted aspect of life. And I'm going to take you through step 1 in this video and step 2 in the second video, which I will do after this. Finding peace within yourself. Well, firstly, let's be really clear. There are 7 selves. There are 7 areas of life, and therefore there are 7 selves. And this 7 selves presents to us a very, very interesting dilemma. Which self rules the roost? For example, if I'm happy in relationship, do I say that I am a very loving person and therefore I'm worthy of love for being that person? But then what happens if I'm also consider that my body and my body shape and my health is an important part of who I am and the self that I am? I then have a criteria to say, as long as my body looks good or feels good or tastes good or whatever it be, I'm worthy of love. And therefore, it's easy to say that if I'm doing well at work, I'm worthy of love for who I am. And yet it can be really, really confusing because all 7 areas don't operate always in synchronicity. Let's have a look. There are 7 variations of you. This makes finding peace very challenging. So which self is screaming out for attention? And this is a most important question. Which self is afraid of the future? Which self is hanging on to the past? Which self is a dominant one? Which self is creating your identity? Which self is troubled and seeking approval? Which self has a wound and remains deeply in your subconscious, impacting every single thing you think, every single thing you do, and every single thing you say? The deep wounded self that hides in the subconscious. Which self is crying out for attention? Which self is angry and hateful at itself? So these questions, put on paper here so that you can actually copy them down and answer them, are the 7 really important questions of life. What happens, you can see the graph changing, what happens is we do score ourselves in each of the 7 areas of life. We say, well, I'm doing, pretty good financially, I'm doing okay spiritually, and this person here is meditating all day. They've got money in the bank. You can see that their probably knowledge of spirituality and the books is quite high. They've got lots of people to meditate with, so they're scoring themselves really high socially. They're not really on track at work. Their health is scoring a really good high score, and their relationship is mediocre. So this person has got these 7 scores in the 7 areas of life. But they have a few downer scores, and you can see it here. The red stars reflect a few downer scores, and those downer scores reflect on finding peace within yourself. Now, they may not be the 2 areas of life this person considers to be the most important, but they are part of life. And if our health is down, even though we might not consider it really important, that we're overweight or we're stiff in the joints, or we're suffering from lack of fitness, or we're not feeling really good about our lower back, or whatever it is, we may not consider those things to be valuable in emotional peace, but they are intrusive and they are important. The second part of this is to realize that we are always aspiring to 10 in each of the 7 areas of life. So we want to have good spiritual, financial, relationship, health, career, social, mental. We're always looking to be 10 out of 10. But the problem with going for 10 out of 10s is that as we reach that level of, let's say, for example, this person in the chart here has reached a level of 10 in their spiritual and in their, what have we called it, in their social life, they've reached 10. They're down in their, maybe it's their career or their health, they're down in their relationship. They've reached 10. And what happens when we reach 10 is that it creates a new 10. So we don't remain very spiritually content if this person meditates more. All it will do was give them a higher level of aspiration for spiritual. And so their spiritual path will then be reignited, and their enthusiasm for life will be reignited, and therefore they'll have to grow and become a learner again in their spiritual. So all the 7 areas of life grow out. But some become problem and they become stuck. And so overall, our growth becomes stunted. Now this growth, this stunted growth, starts to impact on finding peace within ourselves. And that becomes a drama. So let's have a look at how it works. Firstly, what we need to do is separate finding peace within ourselves from the 7 areas of life. In other words, to say, I am worthy of love no matter what I've done or not done. Now, that lovability means that we're not seeking approval from any area of life or any person in any area of life to define ourselves as being worthy of love. Now, this work, which we call in my language inner wealth, is the wealth within. How much do I love who I am as I am? Nothing to change, nothing to want, nothing to need. Everything is there. I'm worthy of love for who I am as I am. And so we approach everything with a far more distant or far more objective viewpoint, and we don't get so stressed. So that's the first step. The second step is to realize that there are 4 core thought processes that drive our inner wealth. They are called gratitude, presence, certainty, and love. And I'd like to take you through those 4 as part of this video today. The first one, gratitude. The amount of gratitude we have is measured by the total number of scores we have out of 10 in the 7 areas of life. For example, this person on the chart has measured themselves, let's say in their career, a 3, in their health, a 2, in their social life, a 10, and those things would add up, and we would get a score out of, given that there are 7 areas of life, we would get a score out of 70. And their score might be, let's say on this chart, I think it adds up to about 56 out of 70, which is quite high. That is a measure, the 56 out of 70 is a measure of how thankful this person is for life. Now, gratitude brings us peace. And if that individual is struggling in their health and that health issue raises up and up, the amount of thankfulness they will have overall will start to shrink. They'll start to be thinking about putting out the fire of their health problem, putting out the fire of their career problem, putting out the fire. And so they start to see what's wrong with them. And then when we see what's wrong with us, when we need to think about changing us, fixing us, repairing us, doing damage control in relationship, our overall score, our overall what we call VIP score, which is our overall gratitude score for life, for ourselves, starts to reduce, and the peace within us starts to shrink as well. And we're going to look at how to fix this problem in a minute. The second thing that we need to be aware of is our presence. Now, in life, we can wait for everything to be perfect in order to become present with life. But in fact, nothing's ever missing. And so we are, by nature, especially us in the West, an ungrateful pack of bastards because we're always waiting for life to turn up the way we want it. But nothing's ever missing. It's just in a form we don't know. So if we don't appreciate life the way we've got it, we don't get it the way we want it. So presence is one of the most absent of the 4 criteria in finding peace within yourself, because we can't be present if we're always thinking we're not up to the standard we're expecting. And so there is a way to score yourselves 10 out of 10. That's by saying nothing's ever missing in my life. It just changes form. So if my health, in this case, this person has scored themselves a 3 or a 4 in health, they're basically saying there's 6 missing. And I'm saying to them in a coaching session, nothing can be missing. What form is your health? Is it the health of your relationship? Is it the health of your yoga practice? Is it the health of your self-deluded PowerPoint presentations? Is it where have you focused the energy that would normally have built health? Is it the health of your relationship with alcohol, or muffins, or croissants, or coffee? Nothing's ever missing. It just changes in form. And so when a person says, I'm missing something, they're not. They've just spent all their money on the thing that they're not valuing. For example, a fat person might say, my health is very bad, I'm very low. But they've spent their money eating food, so therefore they've spent their energy building weight. And that is the form of the health, because their health, if it's weight, it's usually to cover up something. It's usually to protect them from something they don't want to deal with. So quite often we're right where we want to be, just not in the form we thought we would have it. So the second one is the ability to be 10 out of 10 in all 7 areas of life. The third one is certainty. And as I've just shown you from this graph, the diameter, or the circumference of the circle, which we call our ambition in life, always grows. And so therefore having a vision it creates a certainty of direction as to where you want to end up when it grows, inevitably, which it will. Where will you want to grow to as the rings of a tree? Where do you want to be in the next 6 months, in the next 3 months, in the next 12 months? And we do that in Inner Wealth by describing it as be, do, have. A powerful trilogy of words that create a metaphysical or a spiritual aspiration. The be, the do is a behavior, and a have is an action. It's a materialized content of the future. And so certainty can be created, even if we have to change what we create, our goals and our aspirations. Knowing that we have a place we want to be becomes really important. And the last one of this set is love. And love is not love of a person. It's not love of self. It's not love of life, because life is going to grow at the border of support and challenge. It's hard to stay in love. Love is love for the process. We evolve at the border of support and challenge, as I've demonstrated here in these slides. And in demonstrating this and how to create a peaceful sense of self, we have to understand the rules of the game of life. And the 7 areas of life will support and challenge us for the rest of our born days. They will never come to a stagnation. They will never come to a stopping point. We will always be challenged to grow and evolve and have more and do more and be better at, etc. So therefore, understanding the rules of the game over there, which are the 7 areas of life, through this sense of the gratitude, presence, certainty, and love, gives you perspective. And that perspective and that process is what we must learn to love. And that's what's meant by gratitude, presence, certainty, and love. It's how to build your inner wealth. This is Chris. I hope you're looking forward to the next packet of slides on Sketchpad Conversations. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.